Welcome to month 3 of tea. Welcome to the tea party and this instalment of month 3 on testosterone. I've been documenting my experiences and my journey of being on testosterone since the very start, even since pre-tea. And if you'd like to watch those videos before watching this one, then you can do by clicking here. And like in those videos, I'm going to be breaking down this video into each week of month 3 and what I've been experiencing and feeling and thinking in those times. So let's start with when I got my shot, which would be my 4th shot for month 3. The numbers really mess me up. I've had to sit and really think about the numbers. I think that's right. My 4th shot, which has led me into month 3. If you've watched my month 2 video, you'll know that in the week that I was meant to be getting this 4th shot, I caught COVID. So I had to delay getting the shot until I was testing negative and until I thought that it would be safe for me to get the shot, but also for my tea giver, the person who helps me inject my testosterone, to come over and help me with my shot. So we postponed it by almost a week, by 6 days. And when I finally got that shot, I can't begin to tell you just how relieved I felt. And I hadn't realised just how important this shot means to me, how much getting my monthly testosterone shots mean in terms of me just feeling like myself. And now I kind of liken it to sort of like a superpower boost, where this shot gives me this superpower to go out and do good in the world, because I'm finally starting to feel as if things on the inside are feeling good too. So there's just no question now that I need these shots. If there was ever any doubt in my mind, which there really wasn't, but for me, the delay of getting this 4th shot and then finally getting it just solidified how much I love getting these shots, creating this version of myself that I've always wanted to be. Not in terms of the actual shot itself, don't love the actual injection, but I figure at some point it would just be second nature, this thing that I do, I won't really think about it. I hope. We'll see. The other thing I want to note about this shot is that I had no pain afterwards. So in my previous shots, so that would make this my 3rd shot. Oh, I'm so screwed up with the maths. Okay, hang on, let's work this out. So it's my 3rd shot. Okay, so the months correlate with the number of shots, right? Yes. Okay, right. Correction, this is my 3rd shot. And I've managed to work this out because, back to my point about experiencing no pain or aching, with my previous 2 shots, they've both made my glutes ache, so I've been getting the injections in my bum. And tea giver, the person who helps me with my injections, they advise that I alternate the muscle that I inject every month. So we started with the right, and then the 2nd shot was in my left glute, and now this 3rd shot has been in my right glute again. So this is the 2nd time I've been injected in this right glute. No aching whatsoever for the following days. The previous 2 shots I've had each glute ache for 2-3 days afterwards. Nothing this time. So I'm hoping that means that the muscle is starting to really get used to it, and that the only pain that I'm going to experience will just be the actual shot itself when the needle goes in. That's it, hopefully, which would be amazing. So yeah, that's been just a really great marker of progress, I suppose. So moving into week 1 of month 3, it was really hard to document any changes in this week because it was the week that I'd started testing negative, finally, from COVID, but my energy levels were still so depleted that I just didn't really have the energy to do very much. But I did manage to find enough energy to look in the mirror sometimes and notice some little fluffy hairs coming onto my chin. So I've started taking photos and videos of that, and that's been really exciting. I know they just look like tiny, tiny little baby hairs, but still, it means that the testosterone is working, and it's just been so euphoric every morning to be able to see some little baby hairs there, and starting to see whether there's any, that might be starting to grow down the sides here, but predominantly at the minute I'm just noticing that my upper lip hair and my chin are just starting to sprout some extra little fluffy hairs, and that's been really nice. So moving into week 2, but staying on the theme of body hair, in week 2 I'd really started to notice some hair growing on my knees. Let me put this into context for you. I come from a pretty hairless gene pool. When I was preteen, I already had more leg hair than my dad, so that's kind of my reference point. But I've never had hair on my knees before, and I just started seeing these little bumps, almost like ingrown hair bumps on my knee. So it's a bit gross, but I started to pick them out, and sure enough, there was hair starting to grow. And I remember I was at a timber festival, and I was sitting on the floor listening to this really wonderful talk by Josie Long, and I just started looking at my knee, and I couldn't stop looking. I was like, I'm definitely sure I'm getting knee hair here. So I got my phone out and filmed a little bit of it, and I know it doesn't look like much, but again, this is just another moment of euphoria for me, and another moment of confirmation that the testosterone is working. So yeah, I'm stoked that I'm getting knee hair, genuinely. Now moving into week 3, another thing that I've been noticing has been my skin changing on my face. And this has kind of been a change that I've really not been looking forward to and was kind of hoping wouldn't affect me. But here it is, week 3 into month 3, I started getting spots. Really noticeable spots. And the reason why I have been dreading this is because I've only just really stopped getting them. I started getting them in my late teens, got them really badly on my cheeks. I don't think they're quite classed as acne, but I think they were definitely on a borderline there of maybe being close to being classed as acne. And then all the way through my 20s, I've been getting spots. And then finally, in my late 20s, early 30s, I stopped getting spots. And now, puberty 2.0, I'm getting them again. Oh. But this time, I've been getting them on my chin. And actually, that's not as bad a place, I think, to get them. For some reason, I don't know. I've just preferred the fact that they're not on my cheeks. You'll also see in this photo that along my forehead, I've got a really beautifully shiny forehead there. So my skin has definitely been getting greasier and oilier as well. So I've had to invest in some new skincare, and this is what I use. I've been using these 3 products from La Roche-Posay. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I've just butchered that. But I found out about it through someone that I follow on Instagram who has been getting adult acne. So I thought I would invest in similar stuff and see whether it works. And these 3 products in particular are well recommended for combination skin, which is what I've got. I've got dry skin in general, but it's been getting greasy and oilier with puberty 2.0. And at the minute, I think it's working really well. I'll keep you up to date with how it's going, but it's not been too harsh and seems to be keeping most of the spots at bay now. So I'm not breaking out as much as I had been in the previous few weeks. But the thing that I have loved using is something that I never would have thought that I would ever use, but it's these little stars. They're made by a company called Starface, and essentially what you do is you just stick them onto your spots, and I typically stick them on at night because I don't look nearly as cool as any of the kids that they use in their advertising who can just go about their daily lives in public wearing these stars. I just don't think I can carry that off. So what I'll do is I'll clean my face at night and then I'll stick these stars on the spots, and genuinely by the morning they look so much better, if not pretty much gone. It's actually probably one of the best spot products I've ever used. So I've now basically bought a bunch because I never want to be without them at the moment. And they come in a box like this, or you can get them in a really nice case like this, which has a little vanity mirror inside. Just so you can check your placement of where you're putting them. And they also do pore strips. I'm not endorsed by them at all or working with them in any way. I just freaking love their stuff, and it's really easy to see where they place them in a shop because it's bright yellow. In week 3, I also attended my first ever trans pride, and I just happened to make it the London one, which is the biggest one in England. And it was phenomenal. I cannot begin to explain to you what it's like to be in the energy and buzz of 30,000 people who came to London to celebrate trans pride, to be a part of that, and to listen to the speakers who were informative, passionate, courageous and beautiful, and to look around at everyone there and know that you were in a place of comfort and security and safety. As a trans person, I've realised that living with comfort is completely alien, particularly if you've ever had to suppress any of your identity, and depending on how long you've had to suppress it for, just comfort is something that we really don't know. So to be in this environment where you knew that you were one with them, that they were part of you, just this unspoken synchronicity and connection and bond with these people who you know that you could just be completely yourself and no one would bat an eyelid. London Trans Pride was phenomenal, and next year I want to go to as many trans prides as possible. I need to put them in my diary ASAP so I don't double book myself. So finally, moving into week 4, I feel like my voice has definitely been changing. I'm definitely sensing a bassiness to it. I don't know if that's a word. It's just, it feels more bassy is what I'm trying to say. And I've noticed that if I do any kind of raising my voice or exclaiming, that my voice kind of breaks. So for example, if I'm like, woohoo, perfect example. I just can't sustain the voice for now. I assume it's going to come back, but yeah, I've noticed that if I talk quietly, I can keep my voice, but any kind of raising of the voice, it disappears. So singing has been an interesting one, which I'll probably talk more about at a later date. The final thing that I've been noticing is less about what my body has been doing internally and more about what I do for my body and for my mind, I suppose. And this is getting more into fashion. So let me explain. I've always loved clothes and I've always loved shopping, but I've also really hated it, and I've finally realised it's because I've never been able to buy and wear the clothes that I've always wanted to. And now, having fully accepted and become my trans self and feeling able to buy clothes that I'm feeling really drawn to wear has been so freeing and just such an incredible thing to do, to the point where I'm a little bit worried that I've got a bit of a shopping addiction. But I think for now it's a good thing because what it is that I am investing, quite physically investing because I'm spending money. I'm investing into myself. I'm investing into my happiness and into my joy. And I know that shopping marketers and advertisers will also say the same thing, but for this early part of my journey, this feels so right. So I've been shopping more. I've been going to charity shops, into high street shops, and really just trying to work out what my style is, what it is that I like, but more importantly, what clothes make me feel like me, truly me, but also make me feel empowered, make me feel that when I step outside in these clothes, that I am presenting the absolute 100% best version of myself that day, and using clothes as something that is aiding me rather than something that makes me feel uncomfortable and makes me feel restrictive and like I need to be restrained. And finding shirts like this, for example, I didn't quite mean for this video to be quite so sexy. Underneath this shirt is meant to be a white vest, but I didn't have one with me whilst I was trying it on. So forgive me for how unnecessarily provocative this video might be. But I love this. What I've realised is that I am really drawn to wearing quite bold, bright colours and designs and shapes, and it's been really exciting to be able to start exploring that. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video and for following my journey. If you found this video helpful and informative, please hit the thumbs up, or even better, you can tip me. So this is a relatively new feature below. It's called Super Thanks. You should be able to see a heart with a thanks in it. You can tip creators and help people like me to continue making meaningful content like this. So if you can, please do click that. There are varying prices available. I'd be so, so grateful. Until then, remember that sometimes you have to be brave and sometimes you have to be kind to yourself. I will see you in the next instalment of The Tea Party. See you then.